Well, welcome back to Little 12th Man Show. This is Little 12th Man, and we've got some exciting content to bring you today. The we brought up yesterday basically a rough little review of some of the players and the likes that are possibly on the move, and we thought about a multiverse that we don't necessarily want to be involved in. So do our little Doctor Strange or and try to be in the right dimension here and talk about some fun things today. And also talk about depending on how you look at it, talk also about loanees as well. We said that I'd bring up some loanees. So going to bring up that and obviously bring up some talk about our Legends game as well. That was just absolutely fun game to watch. Definitely something to enjoy if you are someone that has followed this club for a long time, and certain players that you got to see today might bring you back to yesteryear where you're rooting for them live and direct. So, but again, got an exciting episode lined up today, kicking off with a heartwarming story from Anfield, which is what I would call it, and that's the Liverpool Legends game. I hope that everyone's well out there because this special match was managed by none other than Sir Kenny, and was held at Anfield, obviously, but it's to support the LFC Foundation, which is Liverpool FC's official charity. The foundation's mission is to help communities by providing education, sports activities, and mental health support to those in need. All proceeds from the game go directly toward funding vital, and I do stress this, vital community projects, both locally and internationally. It was a fantastic afternoon for a great cause, and I hope that you did do a charitable deed if you can. I mean, if that's only if you can, and if you didn't, then I still hope that you at least are able to support them by watching the episode and showing your support for the lads. They're all making a part and point. Pick up. I was hoping that I'm hoping that all of our crews ends up joining us today, but I'm glad to see one in particular because I saw him in the chat with me for this game, and that is Scouse Lee. How you doing, Lee?
Good, mate. Yeah, excellent.
Yeah, I saw you in the chat. It was good to see you're there early too.
I wasn't there for long, to be honest. I faffed around for a bit, reading what people were saying. Like, I had a laugh at a couple of the trolls. Like,
yeah,
you always turn up, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, absolutely do.
Yeah, it was just it was good to see some of the old faces. Good to see like Cisse having a talk, JMO. Who else did we talk to while I was watching them? That was mainly it. While I was watching, I remember them talking to David James first, then Cisse. They probably talked to a load more, like, but I was flipping in between, in and out on it, like. But they're always good. Them those Legends games. That was the first thing I ever saw on YouTube when I first got a computer. I wasn't quite sure how to use it that well, but I did manage to find a Legends game like against Arsenal.
That's cool.
So it's always good to see the old players back and talking and that. Like, I mean, it is always in their hearts. You know that with our ex-players, like that, it's always in their hearts. Still, like all of them, wherever they come from, wherever they've been in their career afterwards, they always hold the club in high regard because they know the fans still love them.
Absolutely. I know I was excited to see a lot of those different players out there. I know that we did what's funny is I remember I said something and I thought about it more this morning, and I was thinking to myself, maybe I'm being too harsh, because I know that players like Spearing, for instance, aren't looked at as legends per se, but I think though why I was taking it back, and just hear me out when I say this, is that I was like, you know what though? he could be a legend in some people's mind, maybe a legend in my mind, growing legend in my mind for this reason. He's living the life that any of us would love to be living, in that he gets to obviously got to be a part of the club or in his early stages of his life, but then he
Yeah,
got to even come back and play with Liverpool. Even though he was in his 30s, he still got to play with. He was playing the youth academy, but I mean, it was still an opportunity to show up. Go out there, possibly show some of the lads what it takes and what it is to become a Liverpool player in
yeah.
body and form. And and he's still out there collecting a paycheck, albeit as even small or as if you want to look at it that way, but it's still pretty good living if you can get it. And
He gave it his all. He gave it his all, Jay Spearing. He didn't quite have enough to take him all the way. But,
right.
he had a go. And we've had loads of young lads like that over the years. If I remember rightly, he's fairly local. He's like Whittle or something. Jay Spearing, I think he's from the other side of the river. But Amy brother lives over there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's just a funny one because I felt because he was really featured in the game too. I mean, like he's getting yelled at by Stevie G in the beginning parts of the game and everything else is pretty funny because being that obviously he had just been playing with the youth academy team as I spoke on earlier, and also the fact that he is a little bit younger than some of the players on the pitch. I mean, there was Sammy who's like 51, I think, years old out there, and there was like some notable players in their 40s. Obviously Stevie G's in his 40s now. So it's like it's one of those cases where you're just like, okay, all right, still giving it a
Stevie's put the pounds on, hasn't he? I can't help saying I was looking at him, mate, and he reminds me of my brother and my stepdad across the eyes. Now, I have told you, it sounds like self-indulgent horse shit, maybe to some people, just because I'm a Scouser, but I had 3 nans when I was growing up. My stepdad's mum, she was born Gerard, and there was 2 fellas who used to, they were related, they were called Gerard, and they were cousins of my stepdad, and they were referees in Sunday League.
That's
And
cool.
they looked into it to find out if my stepdad's granddad, Tom Gerard, was related, and apparently he is related.
Oh, wow.
And I've always seen a look across the eyes. I always thought he'd always reminded me of my stepdad's eyes, but my stepdad reckons he looked more like my brother across the eyes, like, younger and that. But yeah, he's got them eyes, them Gerard eyes.
That's super cool.
We have actually been to his flat, me and my brother, to play snooker because we met his stepdad. We were out drinking and we met Gerard's stepdad. And when our John Paul told him there was a link, he was like, really? And, he was a dead nice fella. And he took us to play snooker at one of Gerard's old flats. Him and his mate against me and our John. We'd all had a good bit of beer and that, like, you know what I mean? But it was all like, shirts on the wall. It was obvious it was Steve's flat, but it must have been one of the ones he got when he first became a pro and abandoned. And but all shirts on the wall, like off Rooney and Murphy signs, in cases and all that palaver. So it was definitely his flat. It was quite good, yeah. It was nice, that. It's a long time ago now, but it was a good laugh.
Yeah, it's good memories. That's good memories.
Yeah, better if actually my brother was here once when we did the podcast, because he'd be able to tell you better. I was a bit drunker than him, and it is him that they're related to really by blood and not me. But then again, he's my brother and I'm related to him by blood.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I mean, like, as I said, it was a fantastic afternoon for a lot of players that are just like absolutely blessed to be a part of this club, just as much as we are blessed to be able to support this club. So it was one with some standout moments from the match, which were all pretty much obviously the big standout moments were created by Peter Crouch, rolling back the years with a brilliant performance. The 44-year-old who looked very good for 44, out there, brought the magic back to Anfield, scoring twice, got a brace, and celebrating his first goal with his signature looping header into the top corner of the Kop net. crowd went wild as Crouch revived his iconic robot celebration, beaming with pure joy. Like he scored a like as if he'd just scored a bicycle kick, which you've seen him do before in that Champions League. Um, um, or excuse me, what we've seen him do before, as if he scored a bicycle kick in the Champions League final or something like that. And he wasn't done there. Like I said, he just a little while later, Crouch doubled the advantage with a well-executed lob effort, once again showing that class is permanent. The energy at Anfield was pretty electric, I think, because this is a game where they're just wanting to see their idols or role models just get a chance to touch the ball, much less like just touch the pitch, touch the grass. And let's just be, Crouch joked apparently earlier in the day about having to carry Stevie G, and after that performance, I'm not going to say that is it was the case simply by that, but I will say that it was funny because in before the game, I don't know if you watched all the interviews, but before the game, they interviewed some players, and it's kind of funny because the girl that was the interviewer for Liverpool, her name was Chelsea. We were playing Chelsea today, so it's kind of weird when you say let's turn it over to Chelsea, and I'm just like, okay,
yeah, very inconvenient, very inconvenient, like it to have Chelsea doing the interviews on the day we played Chelsea. Why not?
Exactly.
Why not?
Exactly. And then it was,
as
but
long as we never have anyone called Everton asking the questions before the game.
There you go. Yeah, name Toffee or something like that. But but no, there was the one point before I bring in Nolante. There was one interview that he did with Chelsea, I believe it was, and she was like, what are you going to do? You're going to bring back the robot? And he was like, yeah, I really want to get out there. He's like, I want to go out there and score a hat trick. And I was like, all right, we'll see. Get out there and do your thing. He was close. Got his brace. He didn't get his hat trick, but he got a brace. That would have been cool if he had gotten a hat trick. But also, it was good to see the celebration, which everybody wanted to see anyway. And I'm sure it was good to see us actually keep a clean sheet and also get a victory for our Liverpool legends. So Nolante is with us as well, another one of our legends. How you doing, Nolante? How are you doing today?
Yeah, appreciate that, Twelve. Legend, not yet. But I appreciate the sentiment. But yeah, cool, man. I'm all right, man. Big up, Norm. Hope you're doing well, Norm. Dara, everyone who's in the chat, and yeah, big up.
We got Lady Southward in the chat as well. I was just gonna say too, like this, this game wasn't just all about football. Obviously it was about the spirit of giving back and celebrating the legacy of some of Liverpool's most beloved players. There was obviously a huge round of applause for everyone that was involved, even the Blues. But obviously more so for our beloved Reds. Did you watch the game by any chance, Nolante, or did you get a chance to see it?
Yeah, I watched bits and pieces. I think bits and pieces. I was in and out, but yeah, it was fun day. Memories. Some of the legends. Crouch doing the robot. And yeah, it was a good day. Good day, man. Obviously, some of the Stevies, the hippies, villains, etc. But yeah, it was good. It was good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's good to see those guys. I mean, considering there was I said about Chelsea doing the interviews. She interviewed James, obviously. I was like on that one, but it's all good. wasn't necessarily super interested in what he had to say, but he gave us a little bit of insight about how he's going to try to keep a clean sheet, which he did. It was funny because, like I said, it was the Crouch got interviewed once at the desk, and then he got interviewed again while she was trying to run around and find players to interview or bring out and actually say hello to. And she interviewed Crouch, and then I thought that she was about to end the interviews, but like Cisse just like kind of popped up. I was thinking to myself, I wonder if Cisse just like, saw her with the mic and he just turned around and like stopped warming up and just walked over on his own. It'd be kind of like Cisse does not cower from a camera. So, but Cisse is one of my favorite players. So, or one of the legends that I was looking forward to seeing. So I'm glad that he took the initiative if that was the case. Dara says Stevie is aging well. He looked great. Okay. He's not missing many meals, I'll tell you that much, but it's all good. It's all good. I hope that none of us are.
Waitress.
Sorry, Ramirez. See, Shashin's put that in. Ramirez has put a bit of pounds on. Now, I didn't see the game, but I did like Ramirez an awful lot. When Chelsea had him, I wanted him badly for Liverpool. If we could have had him. I mean, there was never any chance or any talk of what's happening, but he was a player I was jealous of when they had him around the 2012 time. Like, very jealous of Ramirez. He was a great player and absolutely brilliant, I thought, Ramirez.
It was interesting. I don't know if you guys got to see the interview with Stevie too, by the way. Obviously, they're going to keep Stevie G's interview for last before they actually went on the pitch to play the game. And and when he was getting interviewed, I think he said, I'm paraphrasing somewhat, but like it was funny because he ended up going like, he got asked a question about, like, are you excited to be here? This and that, this is the normal questions. And he goes, well, I think he said something like, I'm currently unemployed, or I'm currently out of a job right now. So I'm excited to get back on the pitch and all that stuff. And I was like, okay. All right, Stevie. Is that like a wink, nod there? Get me back on the sidelines if anybody's out there. I thought he was very close to going back to the Rangers, I thought.
What he should do, like, if he doesn't get another job that he thinks, he should just go back into the lower age group coaching again for a little while or something. The under 21s or something. Just start. I'm sure there'd be a role for him coaching at Liverpool, like if he wanted it. If he wanted to keep his sort of his hand in at management while he was waiting for a job, I'm sure he'd be able to get somewhere like off Liverpool.
Yeah. I mean, it's wild. He is a grandfather, people. He's a grandfather, about to be a grandfather, I think. He's either about to be a grandfather or is a grandfather now. It's wild. Time flies. Time definitely flies.
Yeah, from them, Gerrard or Stevie, anyway. Like,
yeah,
Heighton's, it's sort of like cut off like Kirby. It's miles away. Heighton's even further away than Kirby. It's quite far away from it. It's sort of like off the motorway type thing. It's not like joined onto any other bits of Liverpool that much. Like, it's like out of the way.
Yeah, I was gonna say too. I know you guys were watching little bits and pieces. Was there any player that you particularly from the roster you were not only excited but wanted to see play, maybe because of the connection that you had, maybe from his playing days, or maybe even her playing days, because there was a notable entry of Natasha got a run on this one too, becoming the first female Liverpool player legend to join the mix. She wasn't scared to get mixed in with the physical play as well. But I was gonna ask, was there a player that you were like, when you looked at roster, like, oh, I can't wait to see him take the pitch? Is because you have that connection, and also was there any surprise performances today that you saw, or maybe even got to catch? You can tell us in the chat too if you have someone that you thought had a good performance, because I noticed in the chat there was people talking about. I saw Yossi. Yes, the Israeli was definitely always a beloved player and definitely a very good one. Underrated, I thought, somewhat, by the way. And there was also some praise going out, little shade going out towards Shabbasalai, but still, and maybe even the Tahata, but Gerard played well. He's definitely, his range is still there, you know. His speed and everything else might be not there exactly, but his range is certainly still there. And taking a little shade towards for Hata over Crouch.
Oh yeah, I've seen them talking to Crouch as well before the game. Seen Crouch getting talked to. Like, he's a good lad, Crouch. He's all right, man. I thought he scored some beauties for us. Actually, I just typed that in. It was before it started. I typed in scored some bangers, and virtually as soon as I hit enter, the guy started talking to him about the nice ones that he'd scored, like some of his overhead kicks, and that's what I had in mind actually. But yeah, he was there for us. I know he wasn't everyone's cup of tea, like, but he was what Rafa needed. The ones that, I remember they asked Rafa, like, not long after Crouch come, that like, what's the upturn in form down to? And he went, Peter Crouch, basically. Because we did need him when we got him. It didn't work when we played him with Morientes. That was a shit combo. Mate, I hated that combo with Morientes. We played it in the World Club Cup when we lost to Rafa.
Yeah. We were lucky. We were unlucky, Lee. I think. But I hear you. To be honest, you would have said that the two Crouch and Morientes, you would have thought Morientes would have a better career. I mean, obviously he's a golden player. Spain international would have a better Liverpool career than Crouch did, but Crouch had a better one than him, to be fair. Yeah, like you said, Lee, I agree. I thought he was decent. And I remember the bicycles. He scored them twice in a week.
Yeah.
And I remember Bolton, and I think it was Galatasaray, the other one.
Yeah,
That's it. Yeah.
Lovely. Positioned himself lovely in that, like, lovely, whatever you want to call it, bicycle kick. I don't know. It was just a great finish, wasn't it? But yeah, he did make a difference after we won the Champions League under Rafa. He bought him straight away. And before we got knocked out by Benfica, we went away in the group stage to Real Betis, and Crouch paid this lovely little reverse pass when we went away to Betis. I think it was to Zenden, and then he put it across to Pongol. Zenden. It was lovely, but it was a great reverse pass from Crouch. It really stuck in my mind, that, and showed me, he did have good link-up play as well as being able to finish.
Yeah, he struggled at first.
There's
Go on,
a
Tom,
message
sorry.
for you. Oh, no worries. There's a message from Norm to you too, by the way. Lee.
Yeah. Oh, that was
I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that final.
We got a raw deal, really, off that ref, didn't we?
Yeah, I remember that. That was terrible.
But, like, it's a fact. As K-Mac would say, it's a fact.
It's a fact.
Oh, forget K-Mac, Rafa. Fact. Both is a facts. Facts. I've paper evidence. Facts.
Oh, yeah, he was laying that ref. Bloody hell. It sounds like sour grapes, and it is to a degree, but we got no change out of that ref that day. It was all team. I can't even remember which bloody one it was we played. What was it? Who we played?
San Paulo.
Sao Paulo.
Yeah. I think we've got.
Go ahead.
No, 12. No, go on.
No, go right ahead.
No, all I was going to say, 12, if I remember that game, Norm's right, we battered them, but I think we had some offside goals disallowed from what I remember, which was a bit dubious, but again, you don't have no VAR, so yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah. Let me tell you what bring up what the.
Sorry to go off track a little bit, but I've seen an interview there with David Ornstein. Something he's saying that it looked good or it doesn't look bad, rather, is what he was saying in not so many words. The Salah and Van Dijk thing, Trent, he wasn't so sure about, but he thinks there's a good chance Salah and Van Dijk will re-sign at some point, hopefully sooner rather than later. He didn't say that, I'm saying that, sooner rather than later. But yeah, he was saying that he hasn't heard anything to the contrary, like that we're not still negotiating hard and that with the pair of them. And he said any rumours of like Saudi or PSG for Salah, he's not heard anything in response like about them. So that's good news, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. We're gonna get into a little bit of some of that too, because you're right. It is good news. That is good news. But I was going to say too. Was there any player? I was hoping that Sturridge was going to be a part of the squad, but I'm not certain.
Yeah, he played for both teams, didn't he?
Yeah. That's the reason why you think maybe he didn't play or get asked. Because I mean, he's out of the game. Obviously, he's broadcasting.
Kind of, yeah. Has it? Hold on.
Fella just walked away, done me head in, because he was good for us. We were struggling for good midfielders, and we bought one. He fucked off to Chelsea almost instantaneously, like once he showed a bit of form. That really done me head in. That was the worst snatch from us ever from Chelsea. Like, it was worse than the Torres one, because we got a load of money for Torres, like, and you know what I mean? He's had an injury anyway, but Raul Morelos was just like, you swine.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'll tell you, he looked good for me today. I thought Peter Crouch obviously stole the day with the goals, but I thought Babel looked good today. Babel looked really, really spry. 38, I believe, or something like that, I want to say. He looked good.
He was able to play. That thing that like finished him off as a player for us was horrible, wasn't it? That blood thing. With Babel, because he was doing so well, wasn't he, Babel, before he fell out? Mm-hmm. He was really good. You know, he could play right back brilliantly and centre half as well, couldn't he?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Benayoun was also mentioned. Sissoko went off kind of injured, I think, or hurt a little bit. But Kelly looked good. Yeah, he did. Kelly had the role of playing Martin Kelly had the role of playing like a right wing back for us.
Sissoko, was it Momo or Ali?
It was
Momo.
It was
Momo. Yeah.
Momo was good for us. Momo was excellent for us. And that's when we went to Athens in 6-7 and lost him. He was excellent that season.
Before we do move on to our next section, I was just gonna say shout out to Sammy, who again, I mean, he's 50 plus out there, still looking spry and looking good. Well done. So, you know, big guy definitely looked like he was taking care of himself. You could say it. It's not easy to be 50 plus and trying to run around, even when you're running around with 40s and 30-year-olds, you know, it's still not easy. But yeah, I was wondering if that was the reason why Daniel didn't participate in today's game, because he played for both teams. But there are cases where I remember I think it was last year. I think it was it Robbie Keane? I want to say, was it Keane that I think he played for both teams in the Legends game?
Yeah, he's done that before, Robbie. Yeah.
I think there was. I mean, it was like when we played Celtic, I want to say, or something, or.
Yeah, Celtic. Yeah,
depends on the player, doesn't it? I think like some players are probably into the idea of that playing for both sides, and some probably think, "I'll give that a miss."
Yeah. Bernie, he did do well too. Definitely, shout out. It was like not the first time he's been mentioned too. what I was going to also say is, R.I.P. George Foreman. That's true.
100%. Big up, Big George.
Yeah, Big George
Oh,
made
right.
a
Yeah.
miraculous comeback from being one of the most feared men in the world to being like kind of down out after the loss to Muhammad Ali to battling back and making an incredible return actually
Yeah, yeah.
in his career.
It's crazy.
Absolutely.
He got back to the heavyweight final, didn't he? All them years later,
Yeah.
didn't he? Foreman.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he won. Yeah, he won the title at 45 because he was
Okay.
Yeah,
out of the game for 10 years. Yeah, he came
that's
back. Yeah,
incredible.
That
he's
was some
12, isn't it?
comeback,
12.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
As comebacks go, that was a one of note, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. And then the mean green, as Norm was saying, yeah, sold millions. Yeah, I tell you, man, he was an entrepreneur as well.
Hmm. So let's move on, I should say, to our legends, from our legends to the future. How about that? We talk about our past. We've just spoken about some of the players from our past. Now let's talk about some of the players possibly that will be important and impacting our future. And let's dive into that, which is our main topic, which as you saw was the thumbnail for us today, the potential impact of our returning loanees on the first team next season, excuse me. It's a common talking point because in many ways these players can feel like brand new additions to the squad. I know some people don't like to hear that, when you say, oh, like, he looks like a new signing, even though he already is a Liverpool player. But we can also think about how obviously Jarrell Kwanzaa, even Connor Bradley have made impacts on our team and are valuable contributors to obviously those positions. And it's not just about fan excitement, I would say, either. It's about it's crucial for what this sporting director is going to do. Let's be honest. Like, as in the sporting director that we have now, has to go about. Richard Hughes has to go about taking on the task of knowing what players to continue to try to develop and what players to, decide to pull the cord on, and what players to try to possibly even bring into the first team squad. So I know some people don't like the idea of promoting from within for positions like fourth choice center back or second choice right back. It frees up. It obviously frees up funds for marquee signees, or keeping some of our top stars like Mohamed Salah or Virgil van Dijk or even Trent Alexander-Arnold on board. I'll ask this before I finish what I was going to say, or for this little intro. How do you feel about the role of our youth academy? There's some people that I've seen. I'd love to hear the chat involved in this too. There are some that have put out there that we're not a club, for instance, that is a club for developing talent. And when I mean like that, obviously that doesn't necessarily blend with what we are, which is like we obviously don't go out and get superstars. Really, we develop superstars. We develop players into world-class talents, for the most part. But there are those out there that have said, well, you know what, youth academy players or these young players, it's all well and good, but there's really not a place for them. They don't want to. They rather us just go out, get the ready-made. I know I used that word yesterday, and I had to drop a definition for it, but the Premier League proven or ready-made players on the transfers from other leagues, and they don't. They're just not. They're just not really interested in seeing players like your Kai Gordons. I want to make sure I got the right Gordon, not the other Gordon that we did give up on as a youth academy player, but or your I don't know, your Jaden Danses and of the world. Like they want to see us some don't want to see, don't really have interest in those players. They just rather just let them go develop and then sell them, or not interest in them. And some do. What is your opinion? I'm asking that to the chat. I'm also asking that to the panel too. I'll ask Lee first this time, and then I'll ask Nolante next. How do you feel about what is the importance of the youth academy for you?
It's vital, isn't it? It's the backup to the to the main squad, isn't it? Like the youth academy, and we've always had a decent one. I mean, other clubs have had good ones. Like when they've had good ones, it's like Chelsea's, when Chelsea got all that money. Like they just brought brilliant young people in, from young players in from everywhere. But ours has always been decent. We've always got a fair amount of players out of our academy, like enough. Just players now like Trent and Curtis who are in the academy. Harvey, no, we bought Harvey, didn't we? Like, but I mean, there's others. I mean, there's been plenty like over the years. But so yeah, it is a vital thing for any club to have a half decent academy. I remember Crewe's used to be great years ago. Crewe has a good youth academy, and that's where we got Danny Murphy from. But they were known for it. Crewe Alexandra under Dario Gradi, their old boss Dario Gradi in the 90s. So many players come out of their academy and went on to bigger and better things. For us, it was mainly Murphy, like. But yeah, you can have a good academies in any league, like, you know what I mean. Sort of at any level. So sorry, because I think Crewe were like hovering between Championship and First Division half the time. But they still had a really good academy. It was just everyone knew it because of Dario Gradi.
It's in Rob Jones. He's making a shout for that we got from Crewe. Big up, Ian, by the way. Big up. Hope that you're well. Definitely. But I am asking the question too, and I'll ask this of Nolante too. I mean, like, what's the biggest benefit of promoting from within, do you think, then? If you even think there is a benefit from it. Again, because you could be in the camp of some that think Liverpool's not a club for developing players. And then maybe you are in the camp of saying we should have a pathway for these players. We should develop players and the likes. But that would mean either figuring out ways to get them with the actual first team, or actually get them out on loans. That question is to you, Nolante.
Yeah, it's a difficult one because again, as Lee said, in the 90s, early 2000s, we were producing the academy after players. Some made it, some not. I remember, for instance, from the earliest after, Suey, when the start of the league, he brought some, Redknapp's, McManamans on, and then Roy Evans. We had a good team at McManaman, I know Redknapp was from Bournemouth, Fowler, Matty, all these players, but we just didn't get over the line. We had a good number of good players, and and then you go further, the Martin Kellys, the Spearman, Stevie G, Carragher. We had the bases of other ones that were in the fringes in the squad, and yeah, now it's just kind of well, it's a little bit. I mean, yeah, we bought some players from different academies, but again, them getting the changes few and far routine, and obviously we've got right now we've got Trent and Curtis, but I like a balance. I think the key for academy, I like a balance of four players, starting in the first team. You can say, yeah, they can start 4 to 5. I just like a balance. It helps. Not only does it saves you money, then but you're producing players that will become world-class talents, or depending good players, Premiership players. And I think that's something we forgot, but it's hard because a lot of these teams, when you're at the top, there's pressure. And I think with a lot of managers, they don't give the players the time, which they would do for other signings. And I think this right. And I think for some of the academy needs to shine. I think they need to look a bit more at the academy and give them a goal. Because for example, like Ben Doak, for instance, he hasn't had anything to say whether he could be good or not. You might look at him just say, "Nah, he's got." But you need to give these players access time with his cup games, a game here time. They need to give the time to balance to see whether they're good or not. Because if not, then it's like, well, what's the point, you know? So it's, for me, it's key. It's key. It's key for the club, and I hopefully they'll have some players. You know, obviously you've got the Rios, and I know obviously they were bought off certain clubs, but obviously they're in our youth, they're in our academy. So I hope they are given the time and chance to flourish, and then hopefully become first teamers for me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I was reading what some of the different media said about Curtis's performance for England. So they said he showed flashes, but he was too eager to impress. Some of them were saying,
Yeah,
balls to what they're saying. Anyway, from what he played okay. He played quite good. I mean, coming into the England team, you've got to, he was eager to do a bit in that. But we'll see what Tuchel does with him, if he gets more chances. But I think he should. I hope he does anyway. I never begrudge the players because they do want to play international football. And it's nice when players can get a rest or sometimes don't go away. But you want it for the players because that's what makes them happy, recognition. And so he's getting a bit of recognition and he deserves it.
Yeah.
I was reading over some of what the chat's been saying, because Bernie's not too happy with what we've been doing. I'll bring up our first comment. Let me see. Bernie said that she is disappointed. We have had a lot of good academy players, but a lot of them have been loaned out and don't come back. To only have a couple around the first squad is poor, especially after the years of LFC training. Norm is saying he remembers a lad called Ray Threffel, who was a really talented midfielder. He played a couple of friendlies in 2007. To this day, he doesn't know why he didn't make it. Ian also says, how many of the academy lads are really good enough at the elite level? Very few, he says. If the academy get one player through every season, then it's done its job, he thinks. Okay. Bernie and him are discussing the differences in their opinions. It is essential that these loan spells turn into something meaningful, obviously. Players need to bring the experience back to Anfield that they got out on loan. Some of these players simply will not get minutes. We're talking about a team. Let me get it. A team that has 160,000 pounds a week player on it. Can't really even see much of the field other than his seat on the bench. We have players on it that have national team, or captains of their national teams, struggling to get a sniff of the pitch. And there's others to that list. To think that the youth academy players are going to play, that's almost wishful thinking. Now that we're not in those cup competitions, and especially since when we do get to those stages where those cup competitions, towards the end stages at least, they're usually against pretty decent talent, albeit Plymouth was not that case. But if we had beaten Plymouth, for instance, we would have faced Manchester City the next round or something. So there are opportunities for showcasing their talents and also making a difference is certainly early on when it comes to those cup competitions. But I was going to say, let's break down who's on loan right now, assess the potential to make an impact next season. Do you guys want to take this ride with me, hopefully, because we're going to go from position to position, starting from the back. So first up, let's talk goalkeepers. That starts with Giorgi Mamardashvili. who is technically not on loan. It's more of an agreement for Liverpool to sign him this summer instead of last summer. And he's been playing elsewhere in the meantime. So, unfortunately, it's not been the best campaign for him. Last season, he was out. He was one of the standout goalkeepers across Europe's top 5 leagues, conceding 10 fewer goals than expected. This time around, though, it's flipped, with him conceding around 4.4 more than anticipated. While it's not his finest year, remember that goalkeeping stats can be a bit unpredictable. Teams struggle, like Valencia's has this year, and that can make a big difference too. But Mamardashvili, stats on loan at Valencia, I can give those if you need them. But despite the dip in form, it's unlikely Liverpool will backtrack on this move, I think. Mamardashvili himself has admitted that his performance hasn't been up to par, but as a young keeper, there's still plenty of time for him to develop. Whether he becomes our backup, whether he becomes our number one next season, that's still up in the air. But you never know. You never know. What are your feelings about Mamardashvili, by the way? Do you think he has a realistic chance to challenge next year for the number one? I know Norm was saying that he has. I'm not putting Norm on blast. Norm thinks that Ali isn't a great keeper. He's just saying there has been a little bit of a dip in the level of excellence that we normally see from Ali. I am certainly maybe doing liberties as to what Norm wanted to say. So Norm, do correct me if I'm speaking out of turn. But do you think there's an absolute realistic chance Ali could find some real competition from Giorgi Nolante?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, no, not for me. I think, like you said, with Joy, there's context to everything, and I've seen some of Valencia's games. I believe Barcelona have beaten them twice in Cup and League, seven goals, and defensively they've been a shambles for Valencia. So he's made 1 or 2 mistakes. So I'm going to take Valencia. I'll just poor all round. So I'll take the goals he's conceded out. There's context to everything. So I'm not going to really be too overly with him with Valencia. But next season, in terms of what you're saying about Normalsport, as not a good goalkeeper, he's not. He's a great goalkeeper. You know what I mean? He's a great, And Ali, when he first came back from his injury, I was the one that said that for me, Kelleher should have stayed in the team. He was in a good run of form. A lot of idiots, podcasters went a meltdown over Kelleher's mistake. I thought Kelleher, I like my team to be competitive. So whether it's Salah, Trent, whoever the players got the position and they're in form, for me, they should stay in the team. That's how I see a club should fit. I don't care about star status. You know what I mean? That's irrelevant to me. I'm all about the form of the player. But, Arne was clear. So he changed Ali. And look, Ali started, I think, for the first 4 to 5 games. He wasn't 100%. He weren't great, if I'm honest. Picking out form and stuff like that. But then he's coming to his own, and he's been on form. So he for me, he deserves to be number one. So with Mama, I don't think he should be number one. I think he might have to wait a little bit. It might be 2 to 3 years, in my opinion. Anyway, Ali for me is the number one dog, and unless we want to get rid of him, and unless his form dips dramatically, then yeah, Mama, he's just got to hold fire, in my opinion.
We can't hear you.
Yeah, can't hear 12. It's the 19 League takeover. We can't hear 12.
Sorry about that. I'm trying to clear my throat. I was just saying, I did give some clarification of what Norm did say. I brought up his earlier tweet or earlier comment. And also he was saying what he merely means is Ali is still his number one, excuse me, his number one out of the three, just that he can see why the club is looking beyond him at the moment by going out and spending some money on, which at the time before Chiesa was our only move technically for the summer. And it was a move that for a position that at least we thought that we have pretty well covered. But
I was just thinking if Valencia have still got a fixture against Las Palmas, then Mamardashvili will come up against Bajcetic. I believe Bajcetic is doing well now at Las Palmas. And somebody was talking about it, like a Spanish journalist, and likening them to Sergio Busquets, and you can't get much higher praise than that, can you? I don't know who the Spanish bloke was saying that, but he was talking about Busquets and what type of player he was, and the Bajcetic is similar qualities, like to his game. But yeah, so I hope it's a good one for him. Maybe he'll stay again next season. I don't know how long he's going to be. There was a bit of a thing with Slot as well, and saying blah blah blah. Yeah, I'm glad he's playing, glad he's doing well. He's one for the future. I know he's got talent and all that. But yeah, so I'm glad to hear that, because it was a bit weird, wasn't it, when Thingy got sacked and we were like, "What's happening now?" Then
right. Yeah, what's going to happen with his future? Yeah, we're gonna get into the midfield for sure, and he's definitely going to be a featured player of that midfield, obviously.
I've got
bigger
mates. I really liked him when he come in under Klopp. I remember when Fabinho got back fit, and he still kept him out the side for a couple of games, because he was playing so well. But yeah, there you go.
I was going to make sure that since we're talking about goalkeepers, I just want to make sure that we also spoke on another keeper worth mentioning is Fabian Morzek, or Morzek. I think that's how I pronounce it. Morozek. Morzek, I think. Morzek. Currently on loan at Forest Green Rovers. He's just 21 and is still very much in the development phase. After signing a new deal in 2024, it's likely that Liverpool will obviously be looking towards the future with this player, but also looking for another loan to help him continue his progression. On loan at Forest Green Rovers, he had 10 appearances, 3 clean sheets, 10 goals conceded, 0 yellow cards, blah, 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 0 red cards, but also 900 minutes played. So it is what it is. With Fabian, I think it's going to be an interesting situation where what is going to be his next most notable spot. But there is a player that I wanted to bring up that is certainly someone that has been, I don't necessarily, if you want to say he's been looking for a new team. He certainly has been a player that would love to stay with this team, but has only gotten one opportunity really to be called upon first teamer. And when he was called upon, salute to you. You definitely did your duty. You kept us up in contention for Europe. And that defender, as we move on to defenders, is Nat Phillips. Nat Phillips is nearing the end of his contract and is currently on loan at Derby. He's been an unsung hero during our past injury crises, I should say. But it looks like his time at the club is coming to an end. Phillips' 2024-25 stats on loan at Derby County were 25 appearances. He got 1 assist. He had 4 yellow cards, played around 1,500 minutes, about 1,557 minutes. Similarly to Nat Phillips, a player that we did utilize, someone that at one point in time was looked at as being maybe a Virgil-esque type player that could be reared into the mold of Virgil, since he had the height, and he was certainly a player that was looked at as being a potential big name player for us, but didn't pan out that way. And that's Reese Williams, who's on loan at Morecambe, right? I think that's how you pronounce it. And has been a key figure despite stepping down to League Two this time. Not in League One, he's in League Two. Williams has been on loan, but he's made a bag of appearances, 33 appearances, had 2 goals with them as well. 6 yellow cards, has played 2,700 minutes, around close to 2,800, 2,769 minutes he's played so far. And that's just been an unfortunate circumstance for, I would say, for Nat Phillips. But his time has come and gone, you would say, right? It's kind of when I say time has come and gone, as in the window of opportunity for Phillips to be a featured player in this team, unfortunately, is no longer here. Would you agree with that, Nolante?
Yeah, he done his time. He saved us, but yeah, he should have left a long time ago. I don't know why we were wasting time on keeping him for no reason. I think we just silly from the club, but yeah.
Okay. I think we did try to get some type of what we thought was a promising value for him, but I believe at the time, I think it was Leeds, I want to say, was interested in him.
Yeah, the overpriced. Nah, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I wish him well anyway.
Yeah, all the best. Yeah, all the best to him. But again, we should have sorted this a long time ago. Just wasted him at the club with all these loans. It's incompetence from the club for me.
Well, how about we talk about some promising defenders then for us that have a possible future? One is Luke Chambers. The other is Owen Beck. Luke Chambers has had a frustrating, injury-ridden season at Wigan, but recently made his return. He played 62 minutes in a 1-0 win against Cambridge. Chambers' stats this year for Wigan Athletic are 13 appearances, 1 goal, 1 assist. He's played close to 1,100 minutes, 1,077 minutes. Owen Beck, meanwhile, has been shining at Blackburn and may be considering a permanent move with competition at left back remaining stiff. Beck has played for Blackburn Rovers, 24 appearances, 1 goal, 3 yellow cards, 1 red card, close to 2,000 minutes played, 1,950 to be exact. Being that we are in a place where we're looking for a upgrade, if not a reinforcement to our left back position, do you think it's wise to maybe take the value for Owen Beck currently and maybe get him a permanent deal with maybe Blackburn or maybe whoever, maybe another team out there that wants to further develop him?
Yeah, it'd probably be the best thing, wouldn't it? Be nice if he could play here, being Rusty's nephew and all, but he probably needs a move, doesn't he?
Okay. Is that the same for you, Nolante?
No, personally, I like to keep him in the squad rotation. From what I've seen from him, he's very tenacious. Owen. I would like him with whoever the first back left back would be, a Robbo or whoever, or the new sign for me, but it's not going to happen.
Okay, up in Scotland, didn't he? Apparently, Owen on his loan up in Scotland, and now he's doing it for Blackburn. So, to be honest, I haven't seen him enough. I haven't seen enough of him.
Yeah, from what I've seen, to be honest, at Blackburn, he's done quite decent. He's had decent games from what I've seen for him and reports. But again, when he get the chance, guys, he won't. He's just not going to. I would like to keep him as squad rotation for whoever that number 1 left back is going to be. But we're just too full at the moment, with the Robbo Simicast situation has to be sorted. Plus, it's likely we're going to buy that left back. It's more than likely, so he's not going to get a chance, unfortunately. So yeah.
Okay. That's unfortunate. Owen Bex has. I know that. I think Cal. I think that's one of Cal's like players that he really likes. He watches. He watches a bit of Youth Academy, play their games and the like. I think that's one of his guys that he likes to speak on. I believe that's. I
Yeah,
think that. I believe it is.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully, Cal, if you're watching, he does tune in every once in a while. Um, Hopefully, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe give me a shout on the comments or hit me up on Twitter or whatever or WhatsApp. But Luke Chambers, do you feel the same for him as well?
With Luke Chambers, I rate Beck over Chambers in my opinion. So with him, he'll leave
So yeah,
along
but
with Beck.
if Chambers is leaving, if Beck is leaving, then you
Yeah,
certainly.
Chambers will definitely leave. Yeah, I think so. 12.
Mhm. Yeah, there's we're gonna speak on that too. Yeah, Norm. Some of the players Ian's putting out that Ian said Chambers was highly rated. Bayern Leverkusen were watching him last year, but he has been riddled with injuries and his career has been stopped short on loan. Same for Scanlon too, Callum Scanlon. That's someone that Norm rates. However, his loan at Millwall was cut short with injury. It is dangerous sometimes. Some of these players do go out on loan and pick up knocks, but I mean that possibility obviously is going to follow them no matter where they are, whether here or there. But a player that was going through injury got back to being fully fit finally, played one Europa game for us, did a job actually, did a decent job for us as well. And that is Stefan Bishetic that was earlier mentioned. So let's just jump into our midfield. Our midfield player has spent time at Las Palmas and obviously RB Salzburg. Bishetic's 2024-25 stats are Las Palmas is 7 appearances, 1 goal, 455 minutes played. He's the only midfielder that we have really that's really that midfielder out on loan, at least, that is someone that potentially has an opportunity to make a place for his own here. Is Bishetic that guy for you still? I know I wish Brian was here because I know Bishetic, that's a player that he's very, very high on, really enjoys his play.
I've liked him since he first. I liked him as soon as he come into the team under Klopp, and knew that he could play centre back as well. He put up his stats in that article I read where Busquets' name was being mentioned, and his stats were good. They were saying for who he's playing for, like, and where they are in the league, at his defensive stats and that, duels, tackles, and all that. Balada is really good, so it sounds like he's having a good effect at Las Palmas and it's doing him well. But I've had hope for him. Obviously, it was just the injuries, like last year in Klopp's last season. He was in at the beginning of the campaign, wasn't he? Like, plays in the Europa League and then got that bad injury. But yeah, we just need him playing and then come back because we've seen he had the talent. I mean, it's anybody's guess if he'll actually become a huge player for us, but he's got the potential, definitely, from what we've seen when he was here. And he's not bad he's not bad at using the ball as well. Like, he's quite adroit and like slippery with the ball, can get past players.
I wouldn't go as far as to say he has like the same pace as Bishetic, or excuse me, as Graf, but I will say that he is talented, very much so when it comes to defending, when it comes to actually ball control. Could it be a case where we have? I mean, I'm going to say this openly. I've said this openly now. I'll say this openly now because I've said it before. I don't necessarily always like to see our players go out on loan. We obviously look for teams that play similar formations and structures as we do here because, let's say hypothetically they go to a team that's, I don't know, this formation isn't often used at all. But let's say you go to a 4-4-2 type team or something, or maybe it's a 4-3-3 team or something, or is that, let's call it maybe it's a 3-4-3 or something. I don't know, right? And why I'm breaking that up is because, like, when you're a player, you can sooner adjust and adapt to the system that you are going to be a part of when you're here. Because the youth academy is set up so it is a natural progression into the senior team. As in, you go up there, you won't be like you're trying to figure out where you have to play, what's expected of you in your role, and the likes. No, that is set up so it is, cookie cut from the seniors to the youth academy. And sometimes that transition is a little bit easier. And there's often times that if you are here and not on loan, you end up, for better or for worse, during an injury, to get an opportunity and to step up and become a player that maybe shows their real presence. Bajcetic has that opportunity now. He went to a team and a coach that believed in him, gave him a lot of minutes at RB. Not only gave him a lot of minutes, it could be argued that could be one of the reasons why Pep was sacked, because he was developing Bajcetic more than he was developing their own choice at that role for him on that team. But it also could be because maybe Bajcetic's the
totally
better
different thing at Las Palmas. I mean, they're fighting relegation to be lucky to stay up, whereas like at Salzburg, they're expected to be top of that league all the time, mate. And they bombed, didn't they? Salzburg, like under Linders, they were like 8th or something, weren't they, when they sacked them, which is unheard of. Unprecedented almost for them to be that low in the table. But the expectations on them at Las Palmas will be different. Like, they're expected to lose almost every match they play. So all he can do is just play his best in that side, like, and try and keep them up, innit?
Mm-hmm.
But he won't be coming under fire, I don't think. Like, people won't be going, oh, who's this guy coming in and playing minutes, trying to keep us up. So, I hope it goes well for him until the end of the season. He doesn't get any injuries, plays all to the end of the season. Maybe if it goes well enough, he'll catch Arne's eye for next season. Maybe he'll stay there for another season. I don't know. But I'd like to think he's got a future anyway, because he's certainly got the talent.
Yeah. We can move on to our forwards, because I know that I've seen people already put some of these names involved in there. Tyler Morton, I think, is a different story. I think Tyler Morton is pretty much assured of what I think Tyler Morton is someone that same with like McConnell. Those are players that will be given another year to evaluate if they're going to be still pieces of our team or not. But with our forwards, the most notable name, I think, of the group, I think there are some that might say another name. Some might say maybe Jaden Dans. Some might even make a shout for Louis Kumas. But I think the most notable player on that list abroad was Ben Doak. Ben Doak has been, or was, in excellent form at Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough, prior to his injury, he registered 3 goals, 7 assists in 24 games. Liverpool turned down, and let me repeat this, because not all of our players are going. I know Bernie, this might be some music to Bernie's ears, but Liverpool turned down bids of up to 16 million pounds for Ben Doak this past January. Doak's 2024-25 stats were 24 games. Like I said, three goals, 7 assists. He had 7 yellow cards, but he had close to 1,800 minutes played. He had like 1,789 minutes played. is and was Ben Doak, who is unfortunately now he is injured, and it doesn't look like he's going to finish the season for Middlesbrough, who could have used him. But do you see a place for him at this team, considering the promise that he showed? Get the young man on here. Do you see that? Malante or Lee?
For Doak?
Yeah, for Ben Doak.
I'm not sure to see. No, I'm not sure to see a future for Doak at Anfield. Sadly, I think we'll probably buy it. We've already got. I don't know. I just don't see it with Doak. I think we'd sell him probably at some point. Get the money in for him.
Mm-hmm.
I personally think with Doak, I think if Salah signs his new contract, I think he'll stay on. But again, will we use him enough? I don't believe we have. Tyler hasn't been used enough, and it's damning, really. It's damning our academy right now. It's damning because they're hardly. If they do, then it's cup game, and depending how far, and that's about it. Maybe the odd Premier League game for about 5 minutes, which is not enough, really, for me. And I think one thing Slot has to get out is that his arrogance and overconfidence with this squad, that squad, because at the end of the day, how are you going to know? Everyone wants to say this and that, but how are we going to know until these guys get games to say whether they're good enough or not?
Mm-hmm.
For me, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was just trying to answer Hylor's statement in there, because he's right. I mean, like you said something about, I believe that's an insult. If you ask him how much more worth it would have been for him to go on a loan instead of rotating on our bench, such a waste of talent. He says, how can you develop the talent? How can you develop talents in our club if the manager will not use them? And I can understand those comments. I just think that's I don't know if it's a complete insult to go on loan when you're at a club that a manager is only looking to play 14, 15 players.
Oh, don't get me started on that. Oh, that comment is one of the worst comments I've ever heard.
It might be a trigger. I know that might be a
trigger.
Yeah,
he's a trigger.
But it is just something. It is as in I'd rather see, if that's the case, I'd rather see those players possibly go on and get some good playing style. The difference is Jurgen Klopp wasn't that guy. There were times and places where you would see, obviously, that it was maybe forced upon him more so than his own choice. But I think when he learned the value of some of these youth academy players and getting some return from them, he made the most of it, obviously. So, Ian saying the loans are part of their career development, playing men's senior football. If they are exceptional talents, then they won't be allowed to leave the club 100%. Bernie is saying LFC have a history of using small Scottish tough players. If he gets his confidence up, then he will battle for his place. Norm agrees with Doak is a tough cookie. Say it.
Yeah, sorry, I was just putting the Ian saying about exceptional talents, but I'll counteract that and say, do we have exceptional players in our first 11 in our squad? And they're still getting game time. So why, whether exceptional or not or good, why can't it be the same? How do we not know these players can really make an impact? You know,
we don't know.
Yeah, you don't know until you let them swim in the water, from in the water to swim.
I think the one and it's one thing about getting these guys playing time in Premier League games, but it's also, I'm still somewhat interested. I wish I could have like an insider. Maybe once we make the 1,000 mark and then go into 10 and the hundreds, Maybe one day I'll get to go to the training camp and see, or to a training session, and actually see how these players are integrated into the training. Because, like, you know, it's sometimes people would say the way you can fight for your sometimes people will say the way you can fight for your position, the way you can fight for a position on this team would have been proven on the training pitch. Then if you can't get into that, if you can't get minutes because of the quote unquote name on the back of your kit, or because the price tag that was associated with your whatever people want to associate as being why they're favorites to be picked in the lineup. What I am saying is that there used to be a place in time when, okay, well then you're going to be able to go into the pitch and have your battles, and you're going to be able to upstage and showcase your talents in front of that coach to say, no, I'm not going to have that. I don't believe that player X is better than me. And I'm going to show you when we get into our 11v11s, or whatever it ends up being that you end up getting the opportunity to run, and I don't know if that's the case. The way they're making it sound like it's a very nuanced way of certain players get rest, other players don't because of game times, and the development doesn't necessarily sound like as if they're even training on the same pitch. I'd like to know exactly how it all breaks down, to be honest with you. But there are two other players I want to get into before we end up wrapping up this episode of Loanees and Legends, Loanees, and Liverpool. And that is Kumas and Dans. Lewis Kumas is at Stoke City. He's shown promise, I believe, in my own opinion, racking up 42 appearances with 6 goals and 3 assists. He's also played about 2,700 minutes, close to. He's played 2,659 minutes played. On the other hand, Jayden Dans is on loan at Sunderland. The one unfortunate thing about Jayden Dans, and this is a player that I actually do like, by the way, because I like his fight, I like his spirit, I just like the presence he brings out on the pitch. But he's been struggling with a back injury and remains at Liverpool's training camp for training center for treatment, and hasn't had any minutes recorded yet. That's disappointing. But he's been dealing with this back injury for quite a while. There was something that kept him out of parts of the preseason. Is this a problem? Is this something that you think is going to start to, is he going to be able to grow out of this, or do you think? I'll ask that of Lee, if you can answer that for us.
Yeah. He's bound to get some good experience on this loan. I think he can come back maybe and play some games for us again. About Kumas, I'm not sure. I'm talking about Dan's. Kumas, I've not seen him enough. I've seen much more of Dan's than I have Kumas.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a tough one. We have to see what we do, because there might be quite a few forward players leaving. So depends how much money we've got to spend. We might have to use one of the younger forwards next season and count on them, to be like the 6th forward, the way we've had Chiesa, because this is the first season we've had 6 forwards, isn't it? With Chiesa added. Before that, we only ever had 5. Was the most we ever had at one time, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'd like to see him get. He showed he can score goals for us, didn't he? He scored quite a few goals for us, Dans.
Yeah. I see some of the chat. I'm reading some of the chat's reactions. That's why I'm looking. because how they're saying Klopp was the complete opposite of Slot when it comes to developing players. Bernie's saying, how can we know until they are given a chance? Hash is saying he's tired of seeing Liverpool fans keep saying that they want this player or that player to stay at the club just to get the train with the first teamers, but doesn't get much game time. Hyler is not too kind or keen on Arnie. Says he was excited before the season started when he read that Arne Slot had this reputation of developing and getting the best out of players. Instead, he has a feeling that he is almost discriminating against these players. Wow, that's strong. When it comes to using certain players.
Well, yeah, he's just been reticent, hasn't he, to use many players enough. We've all noticed this, haven't we, about this small squad thing and that, like, and the small number of players that have been used. I mean, the young players got more of a look in last season, didn't they? Obviously, we had an injury crisis last season that we haven't had this season. I mean, they still got a look in. I mean, Dan's got to play in the PSV game, didn't he?
Let's see. And that is true. We, Jones and Elliott. I was stressing that yesterday, actually, Norm, when we were talking about Elliott in the sense of he is such a vital player for our team when it was the last year of Klopp. But he has now been kind of pushed towards, the pasture almost in the sense. And it's unfortunate because he is, I think, such a young player. And people, when they think of him because he's been at the team for a while now, he's been at the team for a couple of years. And because he had time with Fulham before this.
It's the amount he was under Klopp, wasn't it, compared to how he's featured under Slot? The amount of minutes are radically different. The two managers, how much they've used them. Sometimes at all, has he? Like,
no,
he wasn't.
This wasn't even about. Go ahead. Sorry.
Unlucky for him that he missed the beginning of the season, Elliott. That didn't help if he'd have been fit at the beginning of the season, like, and showing himself. Maybe he'd got more of a look, and I don't know. But Slot just hasn't used him that much. Whereas Klopp Klopp used him in several different positions, didn't he? And when he was playing him as one of the three midfielders for a bit. We started the season with him playing there, didn't we? Against Man United, did we lose? We lost, though, I think. Oh, he's a Man U, like 2-1. Yeah, we did 2-1 when Harvey played as one of the three midfielders. But yeah, he's just got no minutes, has he, this season? Well, Jones is a different thing, different kind of fish. Jones has got quite a bit of action. But Harvey's just been starved of it, hasn't he? After getting under Klopp, after being, he wasn't like a favourite under Klopp, but he got his minutes, didn't he? Always, he was never ignored.
There was this quote, for instance. This is by. Let me make this bigger for you guys so you can see it. It says Harvey will have to. This is by John Barnes, by the way. Harvey will have to decide whether he's happy being an important squad player or look for a regular starting spot elsewhere.
The assessment from the legend called Mr. Jonathan Barnes. I think with Harvey, I think what I would do with him, I think we'll give it one more season and hopefully he doesn't get injured pre-season and see whether he can force. I mean, who knows, he might start against Everton. We don't know. Know. But if he can force his way, I'll give it one more season to force his way in team. If not, then I think, he should do all the best. Then he deserves to be a first teamer elsewhere. Because remember, as he's been, like you said, you're right. So he's been in the squad quite long. He's been in, young. So he's 21. He's been in the club since he was 15, 16. So yeah, but I think if next season he doesn't get the chance, then the season after he can leave because he really deserves playing time for me, and I don't want his career to be substandard, you know. But again with Harvey and Jones, it's similar to Darwin in a sense. And when I was saying Darwin, the different plays, but again, we could all say who's good, who's bad. Let's buy this player, that player, but you're not going to really see the gist of the player unless he gets a run. Now, then as it said, like Darwin has had more game time and he's been hot and cold. He hasn't been percent with us, but this season, Darwin has again. Richie, he's been bad in some games, but it doesn't help when you play one game or play two and you don't play 90 minutes and you take it out the next game. It doesn't help. It doesn't help, man. And Sobbo, he's a good player, but he's been lucky in the sense that he hasn't been played. I'll just love to see Harvey with a game, running games. Let's just see what he can do. Let's just run it. Let's just go for it, But unfortunately, Slot was going to do that, and it all comes back to what you're saying. And I know 12 about the youth, about training and stuff like that. But again, if a manager doesn't like you, he doesn't like you. Look, Endo. He keeps on giving Endo props. Oh, hard is training, works training. You can do all the training you want. It's hard, but if the manager don't rate you, he don't rate you, and that is the problem. And that is the problem. All these things. So,
Oh, I guess when you say second most used player also last season, you might mean, I think Hyler means maybe he's featured, he's like appeared in the second most amount of games, maybe. I would think. I think so, because I don't know about that either. I think there's interesting, because I know last year he was top 20, but he got into a lot of games, but he was often they were appearances as a substitution for us. They weren't appearances like that.
yeah. At the end, the last part.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, Tom, it's true, but at the last part from March onwards, Harvey, he was starting. He was in Klopp's first team. This is the thing. And again, the moment and you see the quality performances come out of him because he was making the impact. And this is all it is. You make an impact, let the player run, give him the keys. And he proved himself at the end of last season when we faltered. He was one of the players that I give credit, that shout out, and Klopp started him. He started him for like last 9 games, and this is it, and this is why I just want clarity. And again, I'll say, thank you, Slot, what he's done, but you can't be arrogant. You cannot be arrogant. Like I said, the players, youth players, they've got equity. They've got credit in the bank,
Well, yeah, I agree with that. That's something we've been shouting loud and pretty as the season kept getting longer and longer on, and we start seeing some of these performances and the likes. I'm like, well, yeah, I get it. We did have a poor performance against Plymouth, but I mean, how many of those players were actively playing in games that they would be match fit sharp to play in that game? Albeit they should still be able to get a result, not giving them a pass because of that. But you want these players to be sharp. You want these players to be able to get put into a game and not look off step, or off the beat. That means you're gonna have to play them.
We shouldn't have really been going out the FA Cup to them Plymouth, but we were away from home. No matter how far down, how many places below us they were at home, which is always a massive thing in the FA Cup. You get that at Anfield, mate, and it's a cakewalk. But getting them away, the penalty with Harvey jumping up, it's just one of those things, wasn't it? But
nah, I see.
I've seen one of the Evertonian mates on the bus today. I was going shopping on the bus today, and I was talking to him about footy, and that. But he's a nice fella. He was saying, "Oh yeah, we got knocked out the Champions League and lost the cup final." And he said, "Yeah, but I'd rather be where you are than where Everton are." So, yeah, it's
True.
okay.
True.
You know what I mean? He's a nice fella, Tony. But
Shout out to Tony. Is that what you said?
Yeah. He said, I'd rather be where you are than where Everton are. I said, yes,
Right,
mate,
right.
I've got Moyes back, blah, blah, blah. And then went into a nice talk about
There
how
you
I'm
go.
glad for Everton and
Well,
Moyes is back, and all this shit. Like, for me dad's
hopefully,
sake.
tell Tony to tune in every once in a while. We understand he might not wear red, but still he can.
Mate,
He
I
can
haven't
still.
seen him since I was a kid, and he started drinking in my local again. And I was talking to him for about over a year. And mate, I didn't recognise him from when we were kids because he moved
Okay.
to Almersdale, which is even further away than Huyton. When we were about 8 or 9, he moved, and then I like said, I used to live in the estate at the back there, and he went in the Masonettes, and he went, so did I. I was like, what's your name? He said, Tony Carney. Tony Carney, that's you. Billy Concarney. Weird, but I hadn't seen him since we were like around just before we were 10 or something. Like he moved to Scammerdale. There you go. Tony the bloke, nice fella. And
There you go.
yeah, he's happy that he told me who Everton's backers are. There's some bloody fund from America. What did he say they were called? Friedkin, they're called, who've put money into Everton, so he's hopeful Everton can get a few signings. Because I took it down that road with him. I said, yeah, if he's got some signings, that'll boost you and all that jazz, like, you know what I mean? So he's hopeful. But a lot of players are out of contract, including Decore. He said 10 are out of contract in the summer, and Decore is
Wow.
one.
Wow.
Oh, is it 10? Oh, wow. Jeez.
10, he said, yeah.
That's-
He should know, like, being a blue.
Oof.
Wow. Maybe that's just Everton just trying to like just cut the ties and rebuild fresh with the new stadium. I don't know. I know for us, there are some other loanees I didn't mention. Obviously, Kai Gordon at Portsmouth. I did mention earlier in the chat, but Calvin Ramsey at Kilmarnock, right? Is that how you pronounce it?
Oh, Kilmarnock.
Kilmarnock.
Yeah.
Got Luca Stevenson at Dundee United. Dominic Cornice at Gillingham, right?
Oh,
James.
Gillingham.
What is it?
Is it Gillingham, is it?
Gillingham. Yes,
Yeah.
Gillingham.
Okay, cool.
James Norris at Shelbourne FC. Among them, Ramsey has shown glimpses of quality, by the way. I know people are asking where and what he's got, but none of those players are yet Premier League ready, really. The time might be running out for Calvin, unfortunately, because he was someone that some of us thought would be maybe the heir apparent to Trent Alexander-Arnold, to be honest with you. But the bottom line is we're making the jump to a new era in this football team. We're also going to see some of these players either making the jump with us or not making that jump at all. And I think some of these loanees have shown some potential. Not many look poised to break through immediately, I'll admit that. But some have shown traces of, hey, there's a player there, It's going to be interesting to see what we do with those players. At least that's my perspective. Any loanee that you want to really, really showcase right now that we mentioned, or maybe if you want to give a shout to you can give a shout to a youth academy player if you want to. So I know there are some youth academy players that we're pretty high on that weren't loaned out, but still are worth mentioning. You got anyone you'd like to say, Nolante?
There was someone. I have to go. I forgot. I saw him play a couple of times for the other 21s. I'll get back to you on that. I have to Google his name just to trying to think which one I saw him.
Rio?
I remember the name. No, not Rio. He's someone, not the either was Rio or Trey. He's someone else. So he's been quite impressive. I'll have to Google his name. But in terms of the ones, shout out to Stefan Bashicic. I really do hope. I mean, from what I've read, and I saw one game which he was I think he was man of the match actually. Was it Real Betis, I believe? But yeah, I really do hope he gets the chance next season to implement himself in the squad and just go as saying the form that he was before the injury. and the club. He's a good, I think he's a very, very good player. But I mean, at the moment, Slot's not giving me any confidence in terms of any of these players will be used next season. And we'll see. So shout out to him, and I'll look for this. I'll look for this player that I'm trying to.
Okay, let's make sure it
No,
wasn't
I didn't see Tracy on the bus, by the way. She wasn't on the bus. I did see
all right.
Darwin, though, in Tesco. Yeah, I seen Darwin when I was in Tesco.
He's Norman Burney. If since Lee can't find Tracy, Norman Burney, if you've got the number, can you just obviously put out the posters up there and yeah, if Lee can't get hold of her, if you can get her in the show, that'd be great, guys. Burney and all, ASAP, please put out the word.
There you go. All right.
What a laugh. I put on that Power of Love when I was drunk and sang it and pretended I was singing it to Tracy. Like she was on a balcony and I was beneath singing it. Honestly, I got into it when I was drunk and I'd had a few smokes and that. I was sitting there giggling. I put the Power of Love on. Guess which one, though? It wasn't the bloody... it was the Frankie Goes to Hollywood one. Not the Huey Lewis and the News or the Jennifer Rush one. Now, I like the Jennifer Rush one. But see, I wouldn't taint that by thinking of Tracy when I was listening to the Jennifer Rush one, because that one was out when I was in school, when you're just like first interested in girls. And I like the Jennifer Rush, Power of Love. But the Frankie Goes to Hollywood is a good one to think about Tracy.
There you go. I do have something fun that we could do real quick. I'll let Delonte and Lee do this little quiz here. But what I'm gonna ask is you just have to decide on which one of you want to go first. It's not a quiz, but it's like something about which Liverpool FC legend are you? So kind of like it's just a quick fun little quiz, I guess you call it. Are you guys up to do it?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yes, no?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah,
sure. All right. Don't sound too excited, but all right. Let me get it set up for you guys because it's got ads in it, so that's why it's like in the background here. Trying to make it get the ad off of there. Is this going? All right. So, which one of you want to go first? To find out which legend you are. In the honor, I thought we'd do it because in the honor of the Legends game today, we'd figure out which legend are you like. You want to go first? Lee, you want to go first?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I'll take this question. Yeah.
All right. Hopefully someone. Oh my goodness. It's incredible how much these ads today just absolutely like there's so much of it that they take up so much of the screen.
Terrible, isn't it?
Right. Yeah, it's like
annihilated.
Now they take up the screen. They have videos. They have like 3, 4, 5 different videos playing at once. All right, here we go. You can play along at home as well. And let's see. I'll keep it like this for right now. Let's see if I can make it over here. All right. So let's begin. The question is, who would you rather be like of the four? Or I'll make it big there for you guys.
Uh-huh.
Who would you rather be like, Lee, of these four coaches?
I'll be Rafa, but with a better budget. So I'll win the league with us as Rafa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I'll be Rafa with enough money to compete with Fergie and Mourinho.
Okay. Now you got to pick your boots. What kind of boots are you going to be wearing?
Oh, mate, I'm having Puma because my first ever footy boots were a pair of Puma Mario Kempes. Now,
Oh, yeah.
Mario Kempes was the
All
top
right.
scorer in the
Get in.
1978 World Cup in Argentina. He was an Argentinian forward. He was before my time, but I got my first boots in, I think, 81. But he was still the name because he was the World Cup's top scorer the last time there'd been a World Cup. And they were my first boots, Puma Mario Kempes. They were moulded studs, not screw-in studs. You know what mouldies are when they're like plastic. You don't screw the studs in. Just, yeah. They were mouldy.
Okay.
They were good though. They were good. Me Puma Mario Kempes. So I'm having Puma.
All right. What would you be? What would you be? A one club player or sign for a multi teams across your career?
Do you know what? I'd like to stay a one club player, but like I'm an agent of mischief sometimes. I'd have to be playing for a few more clubs. Can't be doing
Oh
one
wow!
club.
I didn't expect that. I didn't expect it. All right.
Okay, Lee. You
That's what I'm
scoundrel.
I'm going for the
You
look around.
scoundrel, Lee.
I'm going for the look around, yeah. I want to
Lee,
reckon
you
it
scoundrel.
lands.
You're trying to
There you
do.
go.
You're trying to do a knowing. You're
That's
trying to do a knowing.
when Lee made that answer. That's most of our bases right now.
Yeah.
but which of these annoy you the most? When people interrupt you as you're talking, telling you you always have the same haircut. When it's so obvious you've been wronged, or newspapers blowing a story out of proportion. It's tough, I know. But we got 5 more of these, so you can kind of rifle these off.
Haircut. Maybe I do need to change my haircut. No one's actually said that to me, like. But...
Which one? Whoops.
Haircut. No one's actually said it.
Hold on a second. I'm sorry. Which one are you like? Which one are you doing?
Haircut. Doing haircut. If somebody come up to me and said,
the haircut. Okay.
Same haircut, that would annoy me definitely if it happened.
All right. Great picture right here, by the way. Great picture.
Legends.
In your post-playing career, what do you pursue? Would you want to be a club ambassador? Would you want to be management? Or would you want to be a television personality / pundit?
I'm being a club ambassador, mate. I'll be in an ambassadorial role. I'll be eating so many Ferrero Rochers like that. I'll put on a lot of weight, put it that way. I'll eat that many Ferrero Rochers in my ambassadorial role. People should know what I'm on about. Old advert from British TV 12 about the ambassadors getting all the good snacks, shocky snacks.
Okay.
If
you were to be in an ad, which is apparently not, just pay no mind to the ones that keep popping up, by the way. If you were to be in an ad, what would it be for? A show
Ferrero Rocher.
you're on?
Staying with Ferrero Rocher in my ambassadorial role, and I'm in the advert. It was a German fella. Oh, mate, he was in like Raiders of the Lost Ark. This German actor, you see him in loads of stuff, and it was him in the Ferrero Rocher.
You only get these 4 answers. Lee, you only get these 4. You got to say a show you're on, release of some new music that you have, your new wax figure, or milk.
Oh, milk, because there's milk in chocolate, and Ferrero Rocher are chocolate.
All right. There you go. All right. Well done. Who is the toughest opponent you will have faced? Brazil, your own manager, Henri, or Sir Alex Ferguson?
Brazil.
Okay. And I got 2 more left. Look, Robbo is really, really excited to hear what you got to say. If you're at the cinema and can have a snack as a cheat meal, what would you pick? Popcorn, pick a mix, sticking to water, or anything spicy?
Oh, I'm a pick and mix guy. I used to love that when I was a kid. I haven't had it in years, but it was dead nice in Woolworths, pick and mix. Lovely stuff.
All right, all right. And last but not least, yes, make us dream for sure. What would you be best remembered for? Your genius, the genius of you, that you pulled off some great tricks as one of the best ever in your position, that you were always there for everyone, that the trophy cabinet is pretty full, or for how influential you were when we were good and bad?
One of the best in my position, I think I'd go
What are you
for.
going with?
Yeah, to be remembered as one of
Oh,
the
wow.
best in my
Okay. There you
position.
go. Aim high there. All right, let's see what you got. Let's see what you end up getting. Oh, look who you are. Look who
No
you
way.
ended up being.
All right. I was fast like Rush was
All right.
fast, and I'm skinny
Okay.
like Rush, and I've got a big nose like Rush. Never had a moustache though, mate. But I was a greyhound. That was my biggest strength. I was dead fast. I always used to win the sprint in junior school, between the ages of like
Yeah.
7 and 11. There was a taller lad who I always up against every year, a taller lad with glasses, Michael Simpson, but I always won every year. Ha! At the sprints. Very fast I was. There was faster kids though. I used to do that inter-school sports when I could still be out doing sports, and like I found there was like much faster kids than me from like posh fee-paying schools and that when I go up against like them type of opponents. Like not as fast as I thought I was, obviously.
There you go. All right, all right. Well, how about this then? How about this? I'm gonna let Nalante. Nalante, you saw the questions, so obviously you can rifle through these.
Yeah. Can't be.
I'll give you a
give
shot to do this as well. I'll be interested to see who you get.
Yeah. Cool.
So let's just try to go through these real quick. All right, you want to do this?
Yeah, let's go.
All right. I'm interested to see who you get. To be honest with you.
Cool.
Make sure that the freaking. I know, just trying to get done. Stupid. All right. Who would you rather be? Who would you rather be like? Benitez, Paisley, Houllier, Evans.
Oh, I'm
would you
gonna
rather
go
be?
for the legend, Bob Paisley.
Okay. Your boots. You going with Adidas, Nike, Puma, or going with Adidas Predators? Going with the Copa Mondials, the Puma Kings, or the Nikes?
I'm an Adidas man, so it's got to be the Preds.
Okay. Yeah, I remember. I didn't get the Predator. I have a pair of Predators, but when I was playing, I had the Copas.
Oh yeah,
They
the
were
comments are
expensive
okay.
though.
Yeah.
My mom was not happy. She was not happy about me wanting to do that. I had to like I had to scrimp and save up some of that. Save up some. All right. What would you be? What would you be? A one club player or sign for multi teams across your career?
As much as it's tempting to have a little bit in Spain, Italy, obviously, but let me be a man of the people. One man. I'm a loyal man. In my circle, I'm a loyal man. I'm a loyal guy. So let's stick with the love, the beautiful Anfield.
Which of these annoy you the most? So obviously you've been wronged. Telling someone telling you always have the same haircut. When people interrupt you when you're talking, or newspapers blowing a story out of proportion.
Well, I've always been wrong. Let's say I'm in there, so the newspaper's always gonna try and get dirt at me and make lies up. So we'll go with them damn papers.
Okay. In your post-playing career, what do you pursue? Management and club ambassador, or being a TV personality.
It's got to be management. Listen, man, I'm getting the game, man. I'm manage these players. Come on.
There you go. There you go. Here, let me bring this down here so I can get this off of here. If you were okay, I'll get some of these ads, make sure they're appropriate. If you were to be in an ad, what would it be for? Would it be milk, the release of your new music, a show that you're on, or a new wax figure of yourself?
I don't want to wax figure myself, so you know what, man? I'll spit a little bars. So, I'll spit a hot 16.
Right.
So come on, give me some music. Come on, man. You got a DJ there, do yourself. So, come on, man.
All right. Who is the toughest opponent you've faced? Brazil, Sir Alex, Henri, or your own manager? Did I say that? Was that the choice last time? I don't remember saying that as a choice.
Yeah, I think so. Here's the choice. Well, I'm definitely not going to give. Well, I'm definitely not going to give old red nose dissatisfaction. That swine, that cheat of a player.
Don't give him.
No, I won't give him the satisfaction of that. You know what? I'll say my own manager. Yeah, my own manager. Brazil, yeah, you're tough, Thierry, but my manager, yeah, day in, day out.
If you're at the cinema and can have a snack as a cheat meal, what would you pick? Popcorn, salted popcorn, pick and mix, sticking to water, or anything spicy?
Oh, if they had changed that salted to sweet popcorn, that would have been a winner. But well, you know what? I want something spicy, man. Listen, man, I'm watching, man. It's something spicy, man. Film's gonna be good. You know what I mean?
There you go. You can make a rap song about it or sing about it, something like that too.
Exactly, yeah. Or we could do to me, Norman Tracy. We can do a song about the Leah Tracy story.
There you go.
Norm, Bernie, are you with me?
There you go. What would you be remembered for? Your genius of the great tricks you've made, how influential you were when we were good and bad, that you're there for everyone always, and as one of the best ever in your position, or that the trophy cabinet is pretty full?
Well, the easy answer would be my trophy cabinet is pretty full, and influential will be another one. I was never a trickster. I was a very good player, but never a trickster. But you know what? I'm a man of the people. I'm a man's man. I'm a man of people. I like everyone to prosper, so I'll say always be there for everyone.
All right,
that would be me.
I can be anything song. Oh, look at that!
Hey, yeah, boom, boom. There you go. Yes, sir.
There you go. Make sure everyone sees it. Everybody recognizes that, Yeah. John Barnes, you're a creative, popular, and have plenty of flair. Confidence is not lacking, as you are known to take control of the microphone. Okay.
Lovely. Yes, sir. My legend.
Sounds good.
Yes, sir.
There you have it. We have make sure bring us back in here. There you have it. We have two Liverpool legends that are emulated through the embodiment of Scouse Lee and Alante. They are Ian Rush and John Barnes. What two great players, by the way. Two great players.
Oh, yeah.
If you can, you guys that quiz is on This Is Anfield. If you guys want, take a look. Tell us who you were, who you got. Tell us who you got in the comments. I would love to see if you guys. I saw some of you guys answering along with the questions, so I mean, it won't take you long to go and rifle through them and get your own selection. But do tell us who you got in the comments. I'd love to know what Liverpool legend you emulate out there, and yeah, be a good time to see. Be a good conversation to start. But we are coming to the end of the show here. Is there anything you guys wanted to talk about real quick? We have about like 5 more minutes left of the show here, so.
Is there any good links? Anything interesting? Anyone new?
Anything you guys want to bring up before we?
Anyone on the chat? Is any new links for us that we haven't heard before?
Yeah, I mean, what I will say is, from what I've been reading, reports, it looks like Trent. It's obviously going to be next month before he's back. So I'm not sure if he'll play for the Everton game, and obviously, Gravy's injury, and then Kanai being taken off. So yeah, hopefully they're not. Yeah, that's a bit of a concern, and it's just
And
honest.
Alisson got concussion, didn't he?
Yeah, but he's fine. He's okay. He's just gone back to Liverpool just to rest up. So because I remember he walked up.
Is Graf back on Merseyside?
Yeah. But again, so we need, hopefully, and again, we find out the reports of hopefully he's not to be back for Everton. The Merseyside derby, that's a big one. It's a big one. So yeah, it's a little bit worrying, but yeah, we'll just see. We'll see what does plays.
Bradley was fit, wouldn't it? Be handy if Bradley was fit for the derby.
Oh yeah, but don't worry.
We might need Jarell at centre back, but I would like to see Bradley back then if Trent's going to be out for a month.
Yeah, or it's a possibility of Endo going centre. Well, hopefully he doesn't come to that, but Endo might have to go centre back.
It's a massive game because it's the first game after these 2 defeats. You know what I mean? If we're going to have a good end of the season, like, we've got to start here. Can't be drawing, mate. Especially after what happened to Goodison. I'm pissed off, mate. I'm irked. I'm irate and all that stuff. You know what I mean? I want revenge because I'm still not having that draw at Everton, mate. It was that ref, like, everyone knew he just wouldn't have it, was he? He was waiting for them to score. He let them score. It was bullshit. So I want revenge here. Like, I must have it. I must have my revenge. We must have our revenge in this derby. See, the thing about that derby at Goodison was it would have put us ahead of them, wouldn't it? Like, if we'd have won it. That was, and it's a massive thing, that. It's a massive thing. Can't be understated. But we got to move on, and we do move on. But we don't forget or forgive Michael Oliver. Never before has a boy wanted more. Trips to Saudi Arabia. Ref and games. Let us see your tax return. Oliver.
There you go. I see you, Norm. That's for another episode, by the way. We could do that for another episode. But but hopefully I'm not.
No.
Yeah. Hopefully we will be able to have you join us tomorrow. Most likely we will be doing a two-parter episode. We'll do something where we can actually get you caught up with all the performances of our internationals that are on display currently and how they're doing. And then also we can possibly get a quiz in as well later on in the week, maybe Monday or Tuesday. But we could do Who Wants to Be a Reds Millionaire, hopefully. And also we could also maybe, or not maybe, but Sunday we possibly will be having that Darwin Nunez special, I think, on Sunday. We have to just double check with the guys to see if they're able or willing to be a part of that tomorrow. But we'll be back tomorrow. I got
if we do it, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Michael Oliver might phone in and see if he's got enough Liverpool knowledge to win the million.
Okay. I'm hoping that Norm is going to be there. We'll figure out either Monday or Tuesday on the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire Liverpool FC edition. 15 questions to millionaire status. We'll see. But shout outs real quick. Shout outs, Nolante.
Yeah, big up the chat as always. Norm and Bernie are expecting you due diligence on this case with old Trace and report back. At approximately 1600 hours by Monday. Over, Roger. And big up 12. Nice little shirt there, top there. 89-90 season. Great top there. Shout out to you, 12. And yeah, man, got to chat. We move, man. We move. We move.
Okay. And go ahead, Lee. Tell the people what they want to hear.
Tracy accepted the marriage proposal, and I have bought a ring.
There you go.
Okay.
Wow. That's an
All
exclusive.
I'm gonna do is move it, fellas.
No problem. No, appreciate that. We'll be in contact. Unfortunately, Lee, you have to miss this one out. Oh, shout out to Brian. His relationship with Melissa Reddy. Shout out to Brian. His relationship with Melissa Reddy.
Oh, maybe so. That might be on his bucket list. Who knows?
Yeah.
But you can
let us do the
if you want, and he looks like a haunted man, mate. I feel sorry for him. Like, I did it just for a laugh, like, because I was in a spiteful mood. So I googled a picture of her husband, and he was like with his arm around him, mate. He looked like he'd been kidnapped or something. The poor bloke. I did feel sorry for him. I don't know what his name is. I've forgotten. I did read his name, but I've forgotten. I couldn't be having them two as their brother-in-laws, mate. Phil and Gary. Come on now. Couldn't be having that.
Can't be having that. Well, we'll find out these answers and more tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat place. Or we say even more so, same red place, same red channel. And hopefully you'll be with us, my fellow Reds, for tomorrow. Be a fun episode because it's going to be a hot topic. Certainly a hot topic. Hot to touch. So we hope that you'll join us tomorrow. Definitely get it maybe a little bit more prep time involved for that Who Wants to Be a Reds Millionaire. And until tomorrow, as always, I wanted to make sure I say up the Reds to each and every one of you each and every time, because it makes a difference. We appreciate the fact that you guys join us. You show some real true loyalty in the sense of there's a lot of other channels out there to choose, but you do find a place here that you can cohabitate with Reds that don't always have the same opinion as you, but do their best to hold respect, and rightfully so, for some really, really thorough Reds out there that I think are so incredibly important to have a part of the conversation. So big up to each and every one of you. Shout out to all of our loanees. Shout out to our Reds on international break. Shout out to our Liverpool legends that played today. And shout out to you, and shout out to most certainly this panel. That was absolutely excellent. We have Barnes and Rushy 2.0 on the panel today. So big up to both of them. And until tomorrow, wish you the best. We'll see you guys soon.